Look, he licked his face. Foam licked his face.
Watch out, dogs. Can you get down, please?
You okay? I need to take my hat off now, don't I?
Not the intro I had planned.
Oh,
Right, can we all lie down then? People said they liked videos of the family and like
his face.
the whole family's here.
No, get off my
Except
side.
for Bella. Oh no, she's down there. Are we all going to behave?
Oh, that squishy's kicking off now.
Are we all going to behave for Mum's video? Watch out.
What are we doing?
Hey guys, welcome back to my video. I'm Chloe and today we are going to be doing my newborn and postpartum, post-birth essentials video. And we do have the whole family with us today. We've got Lee, we've got Jessie and the dogs are on the bed. We'll to hear Ozzy's just scratching himself and making little moaning noises. Here he is. So the whole family is with us today for this video. So I'm going to be sharing some things that really helped us after birth, things that I just felt were necessary really. For me or for Jessie or for the whole family, like I say. I'm going to have a few different categories and then Lee is also going to jump in at the end as well to share from a dad's perspective some things that he thought was really good too. So let's just jump straight into the video. So the first thing I have is something for mum, especially if you've had a, there's no other nice way to say this, but a vaginal birth, a vaginal birth. It is this. I think the official name for these is like a peri bottle or something like that. But this essentially is a water bottle that you fill up with water and then it has a little spray on the end there. And when you go to the toilet, you just squeeze this so that some nice lukewarm water goes on your lady bits to help stopping any stinging. And it's also really good for just cleaning yourself after you've been to the toilet as well. So after you've been to the toilet, you just... this is raw, this is real, you have to just dab yourself, so it's best to clean yourself off with these and you know you're getting fully clean and then just dabbing with some toilet roll. So this is my first thing I would recommend for all new mums. Get yourself one of these. I got this off Amazon. I'll leave as many things linked down below in the description box as I can, but this was really good and it was under a tenner. The next thing kind of goes along with this, and this is... Oh, are you okay?
He rammed his whole triangle in his mouth.
Oh man. And that is these maternity towels. Before I gave birth, I stocked up on loads of different towels, pads, but I find the best things were just these big maternity towels. Oh, they're literally called maternity towels, aren't they?
Yeah.
Rather than like a pad or anything like that. They don't have any gel in. They're very similar to the ones that they give you from the hospital. These are Boots' own brand, and I liked Boots' own brand and Tesco's own brand. And yeah, I really liked these because I had to have stitches and they're really thick, so they just give you that extra bit of cushioning. There's no gel in them, so I didn't like the thought that something could be interacting like with my lady parts. But yeah, plain and simple, give you lots of cushioning. Stock up on maternity towels. I've still got a pack unused that is just on top of the wardrobe in case we have any more children, and if we don't then I'll just give them to a friend as part of a pre-baby gift for mum. Now to go along with this, along the same lines, is the, I don't have any of these left, but these are the Always Disposable knickers. I've seen a lot of American YouTubers recommend these and oh my gosh, they were so good. I used these instead of any big knickers in probably like for the first, was it 2 weeks or something like that I used those disposable pants for. They were just really good. You didn't have any worries that, even though I got cheap knickers anyway, you didn't think that you're going to leak onto them and then leak through to your clothes, because they are like a knicker with like a pad already built in all the way around, so it's extra protection. And then I'd put one of these inside of that. I thought it'd feel like you were walking around in a big nappy, and in a sense it did, but I just wore leggings and you couldn't really tell I had it on still. So they did really well, and I recommend that you get a couple of packs of those. Again, if you're going to be having a normal birth, then they're really good. I don't really know what else to say, but those two together work wonders. Oh yeah, so when I left the hospital, so in the hospital they gave me like, I want to say that was puppy pads.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Yeah, I don't know what else they're called. They had them in the hospital that they put over like the birthing balls, and then they put it on your bed, don't you, when you sat on it, so they can see like what you're losing and stuff. And she asked me if I had any at home, and I was like no, so she just gave me like a stack, didn't she, to bring home. She gave me loads of the maternity towels as well, but yeah, she gave me a stack to bring home, and they were really good for, I'd say the first week, putting down on the sofa or the bed just to make sure you weren't leaking through onto anything. But also they were really good for after the shower as well. So because I had a episiotomy, I had to have stitches in, so she was saying sometimes after you've had a shower are you okay there, darling? Are you hungry? She was like, just air dry, don't dry yourself sometimes when you've had a shower. Just sit on the bed on one of the pads and let yourself air dry. So that was another thing that I used as well for that.
And between them three, you never had...
No, I never had any leaks or anything like that. No, did really good. So now let's move on to something for nursing mums. So I've got 3 items here I found essential lifesavers for helping me get into breastfeeding. Number 1, nipple balm. This is the Lancino Lanolin Nipple Cream. This is the original brand. There's a lot of different ones out there, but this was just the one that I had heard of the most and I knew about, and it is amazing. I would use this after every single feed, and I literally went through so many of these tubes, and we had it on repeat order on Amazon because I was going through, what, like 2 a week?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I was just slathering it on my nipples after every single feed to make sure they weren't getting cracked, to keep them nice and hydrated. And I did feed a lot at first as well because I really wanted to encourage like a good milk supply, so we'd just feed it around the clock, and this was just an absolute lifesaver. And to go along with that, I'd put that on, and then I put one of these in my bra as well, and this is the Multi-Mam compressors, and I still do use both of these occasionally if I need to now. And these are individual little sachets, and they have 2 compressors in there, and I store these in the fridge as well just to make them nice and cool. But these are really good because, what are they? They're antibacterial or something like that. Yeah, it prevents infection and supports the natural healing. So it says, breastfeeding women often experience sore, cracked nipples, often due to incorrect latching on. Once damaged, nipples can become painful, making breastfeeding uncomfortable. Multi-Mam compressors provide direct relief and create a moist wound healing environment to support the natural healing process. Their non-absorbing and laminated compressors, impregnated with a bioactive gel, blocks the adhesion of harmful microorganisms and prevents infection. So this is going to keep your nipples nice and hydrated, and then putting these on, especially if you've had them in the fridge, is going to give you some nice relief and also prevent any infection from forming. And yeah, like I say, my bra was just full, so I'd have my bra, then I'd have this, then this, and then just a breast pad to catch any leakage as well. But I use these religiously, didn't I? I took them out and put them in after every single feed.
I think you mentioned it a little bit then, but you kept them in the fridge.
Yeah.
So they were really good to put straight on.
And then, like I say, those went in my bra. Ta-da! And you need to get yourself a nursing bra. My favourite ones I would recommend are the ones that have the clasp down, because they're just the easiest access and I think they're the most comfortable. So you can get the ones that you just pull to the side, but if you're a breastfeeding mum, if you pull it to the side, sometimes it won't come all the way down if you've got like quite a lot of milk in there, and it will hurt like if it's sat here all the time. So those are great for occasional nighttime feeds. I think they're better on a night, but ones like this that have the unclasp and then the clasp back on are just the easiest in my opinion. So that's a little breastfeeding starter kit there. Now let's move on to things for baby. So the essential things that I think you need for your baby. First thing is a pram or a bassinet for daytime naps. We have our snooze pod up here, but obviously during the day we wanted to keep him downstairs with us while he had his naps. That's if he wasn't napping on us. What we used rather than getting a separate Moses basket was just the bassinet or the carry cot part of our pram, and I would either leave it attached to the pram or we'd just pop it onto the table. Obviously it was safe, we were watching him, but that was just really easy to have. So it was to hand, we didn't need to buy a separate Moses basket and then think where we're going to store this. You know, it's already something we had as part of the pram, so I think you should have that to hand. The next one is probably my number 1 most recommended thing if you are having a baby. I can probably see about 4 around us right now. Muslins. So many muslins. You cannot have enough muslins. People had told me this before we had a baby, and so many people got us them, and we ended up with about 30 muslins, and I just personally thought, wow, that's too much, that's a lot, we're never going to get through all of these. How wrong was I? There's been several occasions where we've been through every single muslin in the house, and they're in the wash and they're drying, hasn't there? We just go through so many a day. You can see right now he's just chewing on it. So get yourself plenty muslins and or swaddles. The Aiden and Anai ones are really nice, they're swaddles, because they're like the muslin material, so you can use those multi-use as a blanket and also as a muslin too. Pick them up from anywhere. basically.
Everywhere.
The next thing, which I potentially should have mentioned along with my nursing favourites, but this is a feeding pillow. People most commonly know this as a boppy pillow, but this isn't the boppy brand, this is just Asda's own, and I actually have 2 of these now. I have this one which I keep upstairs, but this was the one that I had when I was pregnant, and I used to sleep with it then to keep me comfortable, and this was just amazing to just wrap around your waist. Then you can pop your baby onto it and they can feed, and I just thought it's just really comfy to rest my arms on now, but it was just such a good thing to have. It really helped me get Jesse in the right position for feeding. It helped me be a little bit more hands and arms free when I was feeding him if I needed to grab a drink of water or something like that, and it's just a really good thing to have. Would you say anything about the feeding pillow that I've not just said there, because they've just been really good, haven't they?
I suppose the only thing would be to try and make sure you get one with a cover that you can take off.
Yeah, definitely.
You need to be able to wash it.
Yeah, it gets a lot of like spit up, sick on it. I think it's had some hot chocolate on here. It's probably had the occasional bit of poo, you know, new baby life. So definitely get yourself one that you can take the cover off. That's just been absolutely amazing. And like I said, mine was just an affordable one, and that was from Asda, and it was about £8. And now I do have a second one. I got a new one for Christmas, so I've got this one up here, and I've got that new one downstairs for during the daytime. Oh, this is why you need muslins. Just being sick all over, Lee. Then clothing wise for a new baby, I do not think they need much as a newborn, except for plenty of vests and sleep suits. The best, some of the best sleep suits in our opinion and vests are from Asda, the multi-pack. So this has just got a little design on it, but you can just get the plain white ones. They're super affordable. And vests and sleep suits is what Jesse lived in at first. It was still quite warm, wasn't it, when like the week or two when he was born. It was still like in the 20s, and he ran quite a hot baby when he was very first born as well. So we just had him in just the plain short sleeve vest a lot of the time in the house. I think we were paranoid about keeping it warm for him as well, so the house was like probably hotter than it usually was.
We just got a new boiler fitted on myself.
Yeah.
We're using and abusing it.
Yeah, so he just stayed in his vest pretty much all the time during the day, and then he had the sleep suits on at night. But when we were going out and about, obviously had lots of sleep suits, and again it was a thing of if his nappy leaked or if he was sick, we had to change him, so make sure you've got plenty of spare ones of those as well. Along with that same thinking is make sure that you have some spare is it just dancing? Some spare cot sheets. So we had a problem at one point with Jesse leaking through his nappies. He had 7 changes one night when he was about 4 weeks old. It was a long night.
Very long night. We still talk about it.
We still do. But luckily we had some spare cot sheets because we couldn't even obviously wash them at night in the space that was going on. So we have 4 sheets for the cot. So it was literally like at one point, because it was just we that had come through, if it was the last one, we'd hang it on the door for it to dry, and we had to reuse it that night because there was nothing else to do, and that we have 4 spare sheets. So make sure you have plenty spare sheets for your cot. You never know what's going to happen, whether they're going to have a leak through, whether they're going to throw up everywhere. So make sure you have some spare ones of those, and make sure that they are washed. And then the thing that Jesse actually sleeps in, so obviously he sleeps in his snooze pod, but one of the things that I would also buy for a new mum is a Love to Dream swaddle sack. So these are the swaddle up, yeah, just Love to Dream swaddle sacks, and I actually got some of these before he was born. So we had a newborn one, we had 2 small ones, and we've got 3 medium ones. I've got one of the large transition sizes, and I really do think that these have helped Jesse with sleep, don't you?
Well, yeah, because he had a really bad flinch, didn't he?
Yeah, so his startle reflex was really quite strong. So whenever we put him down with just a blanket on, he'd like wake himself up all the time. And also, he's quite a wriggly baby in his sleep, and he'd just kick his blankets off all the time, so you had to keep putting them back over. And also, I just found it really difficult with a blanket, like to try and tuck him in and like get it under his arms and like have no...
You're very anxious when you're
yeah.
sleeping one.
It was just like, yeah, so much thought and anxiety went into it, like, is this alright? And I just found myself waking up all the time, like, looking, is he in the blankets? And every time he'd have like a leg out or something. So these are amazing. They stop that startle reflex, so they swaddle them just enough so that it's there but it doesn't wake them up. And having their arms up by the side rather than down in a traditional swaddle helps, because if they like to suck their hands like Jesse likes to suck his hands, they can suck through this. And I think he really likes these swaddles as well, don't you?
It does, it does. Well, as soon as you put it on at night, He knows it's bedtime.
He knows it's bedtime, yeah, and he likes it, and he's ready for his milk then. You're getting a little fidgety. We're almost done. So then the last thing I have on my list is actually something in preparation that you can do, and that is having some pre-made meals in the freezer. So in one of my vlogs before Jessie arrived, I'll leave it linked above and in the description box below right now, I pre-made some meals, and so did my parents and Lee's family as well. So we pre-made like some cottage pies, some chilies, and then put them in the freezer. Yes, we did, didn't we? And that was just super handy to have in those first few weeks, because you need to be eating a lot and replenishing your nutrients, especially if you are breastfeeding. It's good to have some good, easy but nutritious meals, because it's really easy to just like go to Subway or go to McDonald's, but knowing that you have like a good hearty meal there in the freezer, you can just get it out, heat it up in the microwave super quick and eat it while you're feeding him. That's exactly what I did. I think that was a really good shout, wasn't it? That was,
yeah, it was very handy.
A really good thing from me.
Handy to have.
So that's all of my picks for the essentials for postpartum, post-birth, for both the mum and for Jessie. Well, for your baby. You want to come to mum? Well, Dad says his. So now, Dad, from your perspective, have you got any that you'd add in there to that?
So I was thinking, I reckon stocking up on the things that you've already said ahead of time, because running out of stuff is really bad. So we had it harder because we was in lockdown as well at the same time, so you couldn't just nip out to the shops and grab stuff. But even then, having to go out and grab stuff is really inconvenient. So yeah, stocking up on like the breast pads and the normal pads and the creams and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. From one dad to another dad, what would you tell them they had to get before the baby came? Whether that's for you, for the baby, for a family, for the mum.
What I said to another dad, I'd say you need to have time and patience. Time, because you're going to be stuck under a baby a lot, and we joked about it, didn't we? Because every time we got eating, it was, oh, can I have a drink, and can I have some food, and can you get me this, and can you get me that? So you needed time to be able to do all that, and you want to make that time as well, because especially if you're breastfeeding, you've just gone through all that, you kind of want to do as much as possible, kind of pay you back a little bit and be in there as well. And then patience, because you're going to be probably quite demanding, both of you, and you just got to have some patience to be able to kind of deal with it all.
So your essential is advice.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily have to be a thing, does it? Your essential thing is just the advice to be patient and what you just said. Yeah. So I believe that's everything, isn't it, Jessie? We're going to go change our nappy and get you some food.
Let's go eat.
Yeah, so thank you so much for watching today's video. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it a big thumbs up if you have. Subscribe to see more from my channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye!
Bye. What's that, Chiwi?
Oh
man.